If you somehow haven't seen, Universal Studios are going to be building a brand new theme park here in the UK in 2031. And I'm currently stood in the site exactly where the theme park is going to be. Here in very snowy and muddy Kempston Hardwick in Bedford. And as you can see, this land is huge. If you do follow this channel, then you will know that I have been reporting about this project already on This Past Week in Theme Parks and, of course, The Field, our construction podcast on it. But it's such a big project for the UK, and being someone who doesn't live too far from the field, I'm not going to dox myself, I thought it'd be really silly not to start a brand new construction update series where I come to the field every so often and keep you updated on the latest construction that's going on. So join me over the next 5 years on this channel, as in between my normal videos, I'm going to be keeping you very much updated on this brand new theme park. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date on all things Universal Studios UK. So as I try and make my way through this very uneven mud and snow, let's begin the first ever episode of the DigitalDan Universal Studios UK construction update series. And here we go then, onto the site for Universal Studios UK, the future park. As you can see, this is a public footpath. That is why in the intro and probably throughout this video, you can see me on the site because it hasn't been blocked off yet. And it's a public footpath. When I show you on this camera what it looks like and the field and how big it is, it does look big. When you see it from the air, like you can see on this brand new footage that I've just captured, look how massive this field is. It's going to be a huge theme park, and the plans show that it's going to have so many rides and attractions and so many expansion plots as well. And genuinely, I've said this multiple times before, but if you haven't been to this site and you're local, or maybe you are a little bit further away or traveling past, come and see it, because it is just mind-blowing that this will be a theme park soon. Although I say soon, and it's not happening for another 5 years. But either way, as much as the field behind me is where the theme park is going to be built and the car parks and everything like that, there is actually a second site over the road, that's Manor Road in the middle, that they call the Lake Zone. They have acquired that land as well, and they're going to be making a lot of like site offices and storing all of their machinery and materials over there to then cross over the road and bring it to the field site. So we're going to go and look over there because there's a lot more action happening there than this field later on in the video. But to those of you who may not have been following the construction of this project very closely, of course, we're going to have a recap. Quite a while back now, and I'm talking around 2 or 3 years, there was this huge rumor that Universal Studios wanted to build a theme park in Europe, and they wanted to expand over into mainland Europe, the UK, who knows? Rumors saying that they could be looking to purchase Portaventura World in Spain, which, if you didn't know, was already owned by Universal back in the day. But then in late 2023, shout out to Orlando Park Stop, as they managed to find conclusive evidence that Universal Studios wanted to build a theme park here in the UK in Bedford. And then came the long waiting game of seeing whether or not the government would say anything, or the press, or whatever. And then eventually, on the 9th of April in 2025, we got our first look at the Universal Studios park with a full piece of concept art, which looked crazy, being released, and all of the plans being showcased for the fact it was going to go right here in Bedford. And to be honest, that week I was here at the field so much that I got sick of being here. But it's nice to be back now when it's snowing. It's literally just started snowing. Love that. The project kept expanding. There was public consultations with the government and everything. And then on the 16th of December, the UK government officially approved planning permission for Universal to finally be built. And construction in this field can start from January 12th, 2026, which is crazy because when that got announced back around a month ago now, it felt like so far away. And that's literally next week. What's going on? And I guess that brings us to the present day, walking down the Universal Studios UK public footpath, only waiting a few more days until that construction is officially supposed to begin, and it's going to be very, very exciting to see what happens. But that doesn't mean there's been no construction already, because advanced works have already begun on the field. As you can see here, this is like a borehole plug-in thing. Take it, bam, with these red flags that have been appearing everywhere. There was literally like orange and black flags as well. They're all dotted around this field. You can see a couple of them in the very very far distance. And we've even got this silt fencing that's gone up at various points around the site as well, appearing to only go up around the overgrown sections, which I believe is to do with, you know, sediment control, erosion, or even just animal habitats within there. I'm obviously not a construction site expert, so I won't know what absolutely everything is, but I've done my research, I hope. But yeah, all of these advanced works are very telling signs that they're already underway getting this site ready for a huge theme park. I mean, with that being said, I'm literally stood where the car parks are supposed to be, so not even the theme park. There's a railway line really close to this field. You probably heard that. As it begins to snow and hail even more. Over there, talking of the train that went past, there's going to be a transportation hub and a brand new train station that will actually extend over into the field next door alongside the roads that will take you from the A421, which is the main road that will take you into Universal. Those slip roads and the sort of junction going into Universal that will be made will be in the separate field, and they have already started a little bit of work over there, similar things to what they're doing in this field. But as you can see in the distance, they do have some sort of site entrance office ready for when deliveries do start going there. And the roadway works aren't set to begin for quite some time though, as much as it is subject to change, they did release a timeline of how they want to progress with the park's infrastructure and how it's going to be built. And the roadworks doesn't come until early 2027. And I believe the government is going to be funding all of that. So Universal will build the theme park really quick, and the government still probably won't finish the roads by 2040. But yeah, even though the roadworks are set to begin all the way in the distance in early 2027, I genuinely think the fact that they are preparing for that already, and they're sort of making those advancements on that field as well, is a very telling sign that they are readying up for a huge amount of construction starting very soon. Because again, that timeline is subject to change. That might not be when they start roadworks. Look how thick the snow's getting. It wasn't forecast to snow today. What's going on? But whilst I take shelter for a bit and the snow gets worse, let me tell you a little bit about the timeline, and not just the railway and the roadway works, but when all of the major construction will start. Over to you, future me.
Thank you very much, past me. We spoke about this on an episode of The Field, but I'm going to quickly run through it once again with what we can expect to see construction-wise in 2026. And from the moment it all kicks off, hopefully on the 12th of January, we're going to see more enabling works, which they have done some of, but you're going to see more site clearance, environmental stuff, temporary infrastructure, and some flood and drainage works. Oh, so exciting. And all of that, including grading, which will be changing the landscape, will take place from January 2026 all the way until the end of 2027. So if they're changing the landscape and digging that huge lake out, that might not happen for a year or two still. In April, we're going to see more utility connections this time. So all your electrics, gas, water, and yeah, they've been preparing for that, but they're actually going to connect them all up now in April. And then in August 2026, we're going to see the start of infrastructure works, which will be happening up until the end of 2027 as well. Which infrastructure works means if all the utility connections that they hopefully have done by that point, they'll be like distributing the power and the water across all those connections, making sure it goes across the site, and there might even potentially be some foundations being put in for buildings and maybe the rides. Probably getting my hopes up too much there. So think of all that as sort of the base layer of this theme park, and then from that point onwards, they can upscale that and build on top of that base to create the brand new Universal Studios UK. Back to you, future Dan, but no, past Dan.
I appear to be back from future me, and it's slightly stopped snowing. It's quite nice now. It's quite nice and fluttery. That's not the word. But with me showing you all of the stuff that's happening over in that field and even this one, it's now time to go and head to the site of the Lake Zone. Let's go right now. Then you join me here at the Lake Zone. This is not the Lake Zone, I'm a fraud. This is actually still the core zone, the field where the theme park is going to be. The reason I've just come here is not only to get a view of the field from this side, because this is more of where the actual theme park side will be, but also you can see it through there, Manor Road, followed by the Lake Zone, and genuinely the cars going past, if I wanted to do an update right by the road, all you would hear is just, so basically, and also just cars zooming past. But over here, it's a lot quieter. Private property, no trespassing. I would assume we'll get this sort of fencing all the way along that other side of the field when they do start construction on the 12th, and we won't be able to walk on the public footpath anymore. but I'll still be making these updates, don't you worry. But yeah, look how far this fencing goes. There's a bird of prey up there. I thought it was a drone. But the whole fencing goes along this entire side and all the way along that side as well. You can see more of those little blue borehole holes out of the floor, very small in the background. And over at the actual lake zone, which is where all of the site offices are going to be, they're actually already there. And at first we just saw a lot of containers going in and we thought, oh, they're probably site offices, but we're not too sure. There is literally a sign that now says site office parking next to it. So there's obviously now a site office car park. The site offices have gone in. There's a lot of lighting around there as well. So all in preparation for that big day on the 12th where officially construction begins. I'm not saying that every single ride will be open on the 12th and up and running and testing. No, of course not. But there will be a huge amount of construction most likely happening. As you can see, happening right now through the trees. Obviously, I have a close-up shot of that. As you can see, it's actually just digging up some dirt and chucking it away. They're just sort of making mounds of dirt across that entire site. You can see various points around the lake zone from obviously outside and also in the drone footage. You can just see various points that are just mounds of dirt and they're just digging and then filling it back in, and they're obviously just preparing for construction. I can't imagine it being very fun just digging the same holes and then filling them back up, then digging them again, then filling them back up. But yeah, there are so many cars in the car park and sort of area of those site offices now. There's like a big red wall that's gone up, and yeah, it's really starting to kick off because, of course, if you don't know, site offices, that's where they sort of have their offices whilst it's a construction site. That's the easiest way to explain it. But you may recall during Toxicators construction at Alton Towers or even Hyperia at Thorpe Park, any construction of any sort of ride, you will have seen these containers right at the back. As I say that, oh look, there's a van going in. Bye-bye van, crane hire, all interesting. We'll go and see what that's about. But yeah, genuinely, when it comes to any construction of any ride, you would have seen these containers all placed down for the offices of the construction workers whilst they're building the thing. And they've done that exact same thing here, to no one's surprise. And it appears a tree has fallen in my way. Can't go over it, can't go under it. Guess I'm just gonna have to cut my way through it. Yeah, there's loads of cars passing by, but it's got a bit quieter now. As you can see, there's the entrance to the lake zone that you've already seen, and all the site offices off to the right. There's many people walking along. Obviously, we won't get too close. We're just sort of seeing it from the outside where you can publicly go. Yeah, this isn't necessarily going to be theme park related, this lake zone. It's mainly going to be mixed use and restoration area, which is what it says on the plans. So don't expect like a second gate park straight away, or like for it to extend over from this field over to there. Even if there is more work going on over on this side, there's even some red flags over here as well. Look at that. It's very exciting to see so much progress, even if that isn't the actual zone of the theme park, because that shows you there is preparation work for them to go and work on that theme park. So yeah, exciting times. So yeah, that is it from the first snow day here at Universal Studios UK and the first construction update on this channel. I'm going to be doing many more of these, especially later in the year when construction actually gets going, and I really can't wait to see this project develop. Hopefully next time it's not snowing beyond belief, because it didn't even say it was going to snow today, which is why I decided to come down. And here we are. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future construction updates on Universal Studios UK and all of my other content, such as this Pulse Weekend theme parks, the field when that gets posted, and loads of other stuff that's coming this year. It's a very exciting year to be a theme park enthusiast, as it always is. So yes, subscribe and see you next time. Bye-bye now.